Hello, everybody. Jason Grandon with the GRANDON Group, and here's our last episode of the year with Arizona Real Estate Showcase, brought to you by the GRANDON Group, Arizona's #1 brother and sister real estate team, powered by Corcoran Platinum Living right here in beautiful Scottsdale, Cave Creek, Paradise Valley, Arizona. Hey, a couple days after Christmas. Hope you guys had a fantastic Christmas. Again, thank you for making this one of the top-rated real estate shows in Arizona. We really appreciate it. Our numbers have been great. The response has been great. And congratulations to all the people that listened to the podcast for the first time this year and actually bought a house from us, my sister and I. So, how was Christmas? I'm sure for many of you, we know it was a tough year, and but I got to tell you, it seems like it was a lot busier this year because Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, and all those places did not even have lights left over. It just seemed like the holiday spirit was really good. Things were going great, and people really decorated and got into it. So that was a plus, and I'm hoping many people kind of realized, you know what, this is what's important. And so moving forward, we can see the most important things. So that brings us to the housing market, which is incredible. I thought for sure, my sister and I thought for sure that it would slow down during the holidays, and not a bit. There are so many people moving here daily. They're leaving their states for many different reasons, but the fact of the matter is the rental market's absolutely nuts. If you can even find a rental at a decent price, good luck, and we can help you with that as well. But also the housing market for buyers and sellers is crazy. Sellers, be prepared to right now probably pay, depending on what price point you're at, but you're probably going to end up paying a little over asking price if you're in that price point of under, like, let's say $450. Above that, I mean, it's still, I mean, we even had some that are over $1 million, and you're still getting above asking price. Rates are great. That's all we can tell you is that, you know, the house you can afford today, when rates go up in a couple of years, you're not going to be able to afford that particular house. Well, you will be because you'll be making more money. But either way, you guys know what I'm talking about. So, if you're considering selling your house, right now is a great time to sell it. Our marketing programs are incredible. My sister and I, we feel like we have one of the best marketing programs out there, and it's been fantastic. We're seeing some really great responses, and sellers are really happy. Buyers, make sure you interview agents. Don't just go with somebody who is, oh, it's my sister's brother's best friend who just got their license, because while it sounds easy on paper, there is so much that goes into doing real estate. It's a full-time job. And also the other thing is, quite honestly, if you're in this industry and you're not full-time, you should probably think about doing something else, just because you're dealing with people's livelihoods and they deserve to have your undivided attention. Full-time agents for your full-time life is our slogan. Again, so this is, I think, our, 12th, 13th show for season 3. We've had a lot of shows, and it's been great. So we want to end this year on a really good positive note. For the year end 2020, so we know the real estate market's been great. People have been kind of quarantined at home. And while they're at home, one of the big things that they decided to do was get a pet. Whether it's a turtle, a fish, a dog, cat, rabbit, bird, you name it. So as many of you know, I grew up on a big Arabian horse ranch. So pets have always been part of my life, part of my family's life, and it's really important to us. One of the other things, too, is that when we have a pet, we're not what we call a fair weather owner. So there's many, many, many people out there, and it's horrifying. So Amy and I went to a dog show here about a year ago, and they had a pet rescue there, and it was all pugs. And people get these pugs because they're super cute. And then when they get old, 12, 13, they just dump them off. And it was really sad to see that. So our attitude with pets is that if you get a pet, obviously you don't do it on a spur of the moment. But if you do, it stays with you for life. That means if you move, the pet moves with you. If you have to rent an apartment, then you better find one that accepts pets. That's just kind of the way we work. We stick to that standard. And I actually have Amy here today, and we're going to just kind of discuss some of this, because we know this year the hot gifts, besides the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox, were puppies and kittens. So for those of you that got a puppy or kitten, be prepared to deal with it for life. And you're looking from anywhere from, depending on the size of the dog, let's just say 6 years to 20 years. with these animals. So, and Amy actually runs a nonprofit. What's the name of that nonprofit?
It's called Arizona Adoptables on Facebook. You can find it at AZ Adoptables.
So she links up with many of the other adoption agencies just to help place pets. And listen, I get a lot of heat on this. So my pets, besides the horses that we have, and we have some mixed animals, but our latest pet is a French Mastiff, purebred. So it's amazing how many people think it's all right to come up to you and tell you that you shouldn't have bought a purebred pet and this and that. Pets are personal preference. So if you choose to get a pet from a breeder, hopefully a reliable breeder, I don't have an issue with it. I think it's great. And if you go get one at the pound, that's even better because you know what? There's many that are rescued. And as long as they fit your lifestyle and your family's lifestyle, great. One of our biggest pet peeves, though, I've got to tell you, and again, we're trying to keep this positive. One of our biggest pet peeves is somebody who gets an animal for Christmas, right? And they, have it for a couple years. They get it through the puppy phase. And then all of a sudden, they don't want to deal with it. They don't want the responsibility of taking it out for a walk, getting it groomed, taking them to the vet. So they just dump it off. We see this all too often in the real estate here. And so, Amy, what's kind of your thought on people that get an animal and they're not prepared to deal with it for life?
I think people really need to look at the big picture when they get a pet, whether that be a dog, a cat, a horse, a pony. Even I've seen lately people getting pigs, and what they don't realize is that pigs are really small and cute, but then they become really large, and to a lot of people it becomes an inconvenience. That animal, however, doesn't realize that they're an inconvenience, and it's not their fault. And it's really sad. People just dump their animals when they become too large or too much of a nuisance. And you see even a lot of guinea pigs, birds, exotic animals become homeless because of this. And so I think for people, when they get pets, they need to look at the big picture on that animal and treat it as if it were a family member. If you had a child, when that child became an annoying teenager, you wouldn't just get rid of the child. And so it just needs to be treated more so of a family member than just a cute, cuddly little gift at Christmas time.
So we know many of you got animals and stuff. So one of the big things, the rescues are full of dogs, cats, and everything like that. When you get a pet, it's really important, first of all, that you understand what you're getting into. So for those of you that got a pet that didn't want one, this is the time right now to do a little soul searching, wouldn't you think?
Absolutely.
And so if you got a pet and it was unexpected, do the soul searching, because now if you got a dog, you be prepared to do a couple walks a day. Be prepared for, hopefully not big vet bills. Spay and neuter your animals. So you're going to have some expenses like that. But one of the things that, if you do end up giving it away or selling it, make sure it goes to a good home too. There's, depending on what part of the country you're in, there's a lot of stuff that goes on. But one of the things that's really important for pets, as we talk about having pets in the household, is making sure that your pet feels like it's its home. So one of the important things that a lot of vets will tell you is that it's important for your pet to have its own space. So Amy and I will tell you. So we have, in our house right now, we have two dogs. We have a French Mastiff and a mini Australian Labradoodle, which is super cute.
Yes, very cute.
And we have a cat. So it's really important that when you have these animals in the house, and just for the record, I didn't want the cat, but he's been here for like 9 years, 10 years. How many?
11 years.
He's been here 11 years, so it's kind of hard to get rid of him. So we're with him. But one thing that's really important that a lot of people don't realize is that while a pet becomes part of your family, they do need their space. They need their own room. So it's important for you to dedicate a spot in your house or your condo for that pet. Wouldn't you say so?
Yes, and I think that if you've gotten a rescue pet, and that rescue pet is acting nervous or unpredictable, I think it would be a good idea to give your rescue animal some time to kind of adjust. I don't think people give them enough time to really let their true personality shine through, and they just get frustrated and take it back to the rescue where they got it. Also, when people do not want their animals any longer, it is really important to see that your animal finds a home. I personally think rather than taking it to the pound, I see horror stories of animals in the pound and how depressed and just utterly gutted that their heart appears to be once they're dropped off by what they thought was the person that was going to love and care for them their entire life in an unfamiliar environment. I think it's probably scary for a lot of animals. I think people need to consider that more.
Now, when they have an animal at the house, when we talk about acclimating to its residents, it's a good idea for, to have a dog bed in the corner or a cat bed in the corner or a cat tower, a place for its animal to just kind of escape and be its own spot. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. And if there's children in the home, you need to make sure that your children are respectful to the animal, because animals are animals. And if it's a rescue animal, you don't know how it's going to react to a child. So you do need to give it its space and some time to adjust and adapt and to make sure that that child is respectful to that.
And keep in mind, too, your puppy or your kitten is learning. So, yes, there's going to be accidents in the house. So you want to be prepared for that kind of stuff. But again, let the pet acclimate to the house. We've seen many people where their kids are just chasing the animals nonstop and the pets aren't used to it. And then you get bites and stuff like that. So, along the positive side of it, because you have this new family member, you want to treat it like a family member. It's a good idea to have a set schedule for feeding. Some people free feed, and which is fine. I can't really complain on that because that's what we do, and the pets eat once a day. But it's important that your pets do not skip meals. So Amy and I have seen a ton of people where they'll throw some food and it'll be 4 or 5 days later, and then they'll just feed their dogs. This is not a healthy way to do it. Like a kid, you have to set your pet up on a schedule.
That's correct, and you have to give them a comfortable place to eat and to sleep, just like a child. And please do not abandon your pets. I know a lot of people. I've heard of stories where people just dump their pets, just drop them off somewhere on the side of the road. Nobody, people are going to have a lot more respect for the person who takes the time to just find it another home.
Well, anymore, there's enough places on the internet, including yours, where people can call you, and it's amazing how many people will take in an animal as a foster. So there's no reason to dump them off. And we know our listeners aren't anything like that. So what would you say some of the best things what have you found the dogs like to sleep on? Like, do you like the Tempur-Pedic beds or the big fluffy ones?
The best place that I found dog beds is either at Marshall's or Groupon has a great selection of the foam mattresses for dogs and cats. The super fluffy ones tend to get really dirty. But if you can find a bed where you can remove the cover and wash it, that's always best case scenario.
And then again, you want to make sure your pet always has water. And again, this when you guys are buying a house, this is great because you can actually decorate a little corner of the house that's for your little dog and make it part of the decor. So maybe you have a nice dog bed or one of those dog-looking couches, and you can actually set it up. Again, animals realize their own space, and then when they get scared or nervous, they run to that space, and that's their space. And we want to try to respect that. Pets are a great addition to any household. So when you guys are out looking for a house, keep in mind your future. So for example, if you're going to have a big dog like us, a 200-pound dog, you probably want a yard so you can at least turn it out if it's raining. But it is important to get, good leashes, training if you can afford it. And if not, there's tons of books out there that show you how to obedience train your dog, teach them how to sit. But it's important to spend time with them just like you would any family member, spend a little time with them and stuff. Pets are fantastic. And It's also a proven fact, Amy, I don't know if you know this or not, and it's in many of the medical journals, that pets will actually help you live longer.
I have read that, and they reduce a lot of stress and help you to think more clearly. They offer you a feeling of companionship when you have feelings of loneliness. They offer so many benefits.
So, and it's great. So, and then there's some people that, they take their dog to the dog park to get them used to other animals, which I think is important. It is important for you to acclimate your dog to other animals just so they're not aggressive. Dog parks can be good. You want to make sure that your pet gets all its vaccinations and stuff. And if you're here in Arizona and you need some good vets, we've got some really great vets. Whether you have a horse, bird, dog, we've got some of the best vets we deal with. Plus, there's a great clinic up here. We have Midwestern Animal Clinic, which is a school up here in Phoenix. And they treat your animals. I mean, it's students being trained by doctors, veterinarians, but they do it at a discount. It's great. And then also a long time ago, before I got into real estate, I worked for a company called Veterinary Pet Insurance, and I actually sold pet insurance. And let me tell you, that was a great job. $150,000 a year answering the phone, basically. People would call in. They're like, hey, I want to enroll Fluffy. Okay, it's a little puppy. Type in some information, $400. And it was nonstop, and the phones rang off the hook. I highly recommend pet insurance. Now, obviously, you want the insurance before something happens. So if your pet jumps off and tears an ACL or something, and you have insurance, it covers probably close to 75-80% of it. Plus, as a puppy, for the small package they have, which was when I was there was a few $100. I don't know what it is now, but it covered all your vaccinations. So there's other companies besides veterinary pet insurance, like Banfield and stuff, that will help cover your neutering costs, your vaccinations, and all that fun stuff. But the big thing is that we wanted to, finish this year off on a great note. We know you got an animal, and so it's just really important, and we really love to see people love their animals, and we want to make sure that your house becomes a home for the animal. So the GRANDON Group is here to answer any questions for you. If you need trainers, vets, any sort of dog, cat care, we have it. Also, for those of you that have know my sister, Stacey, she's also a very well-established horse trainer. So if you need an equine ranch, we can certainly help you with that. And some of the future episodes will be discussing different types of footing for the horse stuff, and everything requires something different. So if you're living in a 600 square foot condo, you probably don't want to have a French Mastiff. So if you want to kind of figure out where your life's going, and then accordingly get the animal. But just keep in mind, get them out there and get them some sunshine, let them run, let them play, and make sure you personally spend time with those animals. So for those of you that are considering buying a house in 2021, let's get to it. Interest rates are great. It's a fantastic time to buy. We have had one of our driest seasons in years. In fact, Amy, when's the last time we had some rain? It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been the driest year I can remember and the hottest, 2020 on record.
Yeah, we had 150 some days with no rain. We got a little bit here and there. And anyways, but that'll change. And Arizona is a great place to live. So for those of you that are thinking about getting out of the cold areas, New York, Chicago, Kansas, California, this is great. I'm telling you. And for those of you that have not seen it, I'll post it on the bottom of this podcast, our winter video. It shows you freezing and then coming to Arizona. It's a great time. So, Amy, thank you for coming on, giving us your input. Tell them the name of your little animal thing again.
It is AZ Adoptables, and it's on Facebook.
Yeah, so go to Facebook, like it. She posts pets, and other people post pets that are looking for homes, and feel free to reach out to her and stuff, and she loves helping find good homes. And there's a lot of people that don't have animals that want them, and they just don't know how to get them, and sometimes this is a really great resource. Anyways, we are here for you. Thank you for enjoying our last episode of 2020. This year is done. We'll be back after the first of the year with our first episodes. Arizona Real Estate Showcase. Also, you can check us out at the Lockbox, which thank you guys for making it a great show as well. It's been great. That's our virtual or our visual show, which you can see on YouTube, and then many of you get in your email and stuff like that. Anyways, the Grandon Group wishes you guys a happy, safe New Year. Thank you for making us Arizona's #1 brother and sister team. We'll be back after the first of the year. Happy New Year from the Grandon Group.
Happy New Year, guys.